So shout out again. Great basketball is great basketball. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Remy Ma and a daughter, the daughter of the father that was unalived by Remy Ma's son, got into a verbal altercation, and Remy Ma just kind of seemed like she just had no remorse of the situation on why they're there. For those who don't know, Remy Ma's oldest son is either on trial for murder of this man, and the daughter, Remy Ma, had some sort of it wasn't necessarily an altercation because nobody put hands on each other, but there was some sort of verbal back and forth. And you would think if your child, son, daughter murdered anyone, you would think there would be some sort of line of remorse, especially in the manner that it was done. It wasn't a fight to the death. It wasn't something that was in self-defense. It was plot and murdered for hire. So you would think there would be some sort of remorse, some sort of I'm missing the word right now, but some sort of just knowing how to act. And if you've seen the video, Remy Ma's just display was just terrible, so off-putting. And this was really doing a damage to her legacy on how she's going to be remembered just as a human being. As an artist, she was a great artist, but again, I don't want to say something that's going to denigrate her as an artist because that's not what it's about, but it matters. If you're a great artist, if you're great at anything, if your personality is very off-putting, then guess what? You're not going to be remembered in the greatest of light. You're not going to be in the conversations on, this particular artist and that particular greatest and this, that, and the third, when your personality is trash. And all we've seen of Remy Ma is just a negative Nancy for a while now. And in that particular situation, it makes you look at her different. At least I do, because again, your son murdered somebody. Your son plotted and unalive this man. So you would think there would be some sort of level of just like, yo, I sympathize with your family. I'm sorry that y'all going through this. You can do that and still stand beside your son. Where's the remorse? I just don't get it. So at the end of the day, looking at this, I look at her in a completely different light. I'm just completely turned off about this whole situation, seeing it. And then it makes you wonder, if she's rich and she's Remy Ma, why would your son need to make money for doing murders? Even if you don't give him money, you would think you will align him with an opportunity to make his own money based on the name that you built, right? So I just thought that was kind of like weird in itself as well. I agree with you. And in the 80s, Magic and Bird was the best. Okay, okay. Shout out to Patrick. Empathy. Should I drop out of high school to be a rapper? Shout out to O in the building. Rowan Jack. The white in your beard looks good. You're going to be cool, Grandpa. Chill. Don't put Grandpa on me yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm still out here, you know what I'm saying? Still doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? That's what I'm saying? But appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that. But yeah, so again, it's really off-putting. And why do it have to be like hip hop in a sense where like we don't have remorse in hip hop? We don't have the empathy and just looking at a situation for what it is. But instead, you're going to show up and act ignorant, say ignorant things. You're not standing on no type of business. I don't understand that. And these people, you would think that these people, like, and this is why we said before that after a certain age, people don't get any older. You would think this person is 14, 15, 16 years old based on behavior. But you forget this person is like 45, 46, still acting as if you're a child. This is childlike behavior, crashing out. Anytime you crash out on something that's based on feeling and not rooted in any type of substance, it's childlike behavior. And somebody will say, well, what's the difference? Crashing out is protecting yourself against forces of evil, meaning if somebody breaks into your home and you unalive them, I can understand the crash out. That's a crash out. That's a crash out. In my opinion, that's a crash out. If somebody takes advantage of your child and you go to war over your child, that's a crash out. But it's respectable. It's understandable. This ain't it. This ain't it. This is trash. This is completely trash. I'm going to just say it for what it is. This is completely trash. A shout out to Putin in the building. Russia. Okay. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them hearts. Hit them 100s. Hit them hearts. Hit them 100s. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Also, y'all, there's new merchandise in the chat. I'm sending the turkey t-shirts. Make sure you tap in. If you use the code BrothersPod, you can get yourself 10% off all merchandise in the chat. That's at fourthwall.com, fourthwall.com. And again, there's links in the bio. You tap into it in the bio, and you get 10% off by using BrothersPod, and you get 10% off on all merchandise. All right.